Today we are back working with the 16 gauge square tube. And what we're doing is we're making a 90-degree joint, as you can see here. But we're going to do it a little bit different to make it more fancy. And that's going to be adding this piece here into this 90 joint. Instead of taking these joints and welding them like that, or cutting them both at a 45-degree angle and putting them together like the traditional way, this is a different way we're going to do a 90. So we got our two pieces, we got them cut. We're going to come in here and we're going to make sure that they are straight 90, and the backs of them back here is just touching. And this piece here will slide in. We're going to hold these down and they'll slide in like that. I'm going to tack weld it, make sure everything's lined up good the way it's supposed to be, come through, weld it up. The next thing we got to do is we got to figure out how we're going to cut this out to fit this, or to fit whatever size material that you're using. Different size material is going to give you different dimensions for this thing. The material I'm using is 16 gauge, and it is 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch. So what we're going to do, we're going to put these two in a 90 like so. Then we're going to measure the distance from this side to that side, and that ends up being 1 3/4 inches. So if we measure this here across, that's 1 3/4 inches. Come over to your piece of square tube, and basically what you're going to do is put two 45-degree angles on there. We're going to come across on the bottom and measure from the edge. So your first cut's going to be here on the edge, so it's going to be right there. We're going to measure over 1 3/4 inches. So from the edge, 1 3/4 inches, right there. So you got your two marks. You're now going to take your square, come in like this, put it on there, line it up, draw a mark, come across the other side, let's see, here, line it up on your mark, and now what we got is, well, let's see, there we go. You got your little X, and this little piece up here is going to disappear. So whenever you make your cut here, your cut there, that is going to disappear. Whenever you're done, if you've done it right, you have a piece that looks like this. Now, like I showed you before, I'm going to take our two pieces, line them up like that, and that slides right in like that, and ready to weld. So what I've done is I've come back through and just cleaned this thing up, made sure it's fitting good, and as you can see back here, I got a magnet, a 45 magnet, and I stuck the magnet to the back of these to hold these in place so they don't move. Well, not supposed to move anyways. And I came back through with this square because I wasn't sure these magnets were right, and I laid the square in here and I adjusted until I was right, and that's dead on right there. So that magnet's pretty close. Now all I got to do is take this thing, put a couple tacks on it, we'll flip it over, put tacks on the back side, get to where we want it, and then we're going to weld this thing up. So I got 4 tacks on it. That's what it looks like. It's a pretty tight fit. So let's go ahead and weld this thing solid. completely welded. And there's that weld there. There's my inside weld and my other side. So now that that's done, we got this neat looking corner here. I'm going to go ahead and take a grinder. I'm going to clean all these welds up, clean this whole piece up, and basically just make these welds disappear and make it look like one piece of tubing. Here is the finished product, and as you can see, it's all sanded down, it's all smooth, and it's basically ready for paint if you want to put paint on it. So what I did to get it like this, once I got done welding it, I took a regular grinder wheel and ground all the welds till they were flat. But then that left some pretty deep scratches. So then I put a 60 grit flat disc on my grinder, and that is where you're at right there, and that's pretty smooth. Now you could probably come back if you wanted to get a lot better finish and use like a 100 grit or 120 or something like that, but this is pretty smooth. If you put a primer on this and a paint, this thing should be pretty good. That's going to do it for this video on how to make square tube showroom corners. Don't forget to go into the comment section and tell me what you think. Like this video, share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.